Let's move again to another important day. We'll be there now. Where are you now and what do you see?
I am I am like Alex is like resistant to say this, but I am like seeing myself, still the same guy,
Hmm?
um cutting his stomach with a knife. Like
Oh,
Japanese.
oh,
Oh, I don't know if that's um like right in half. He like puts it in and then drags it across. Um yeah.
oh, how old do you look?
He was older. He was
Hmm.
older, maybe 70s.
All right. Well, let's tap into his mindset
Mm,
and what he's feeling and why he's doing this.
mm. It feels like they're in the culture at least. There's this concept of like dying honorably, and this is like a way to kind of retribute or like reconcile
Hmm.
when you don't feel like you've lived an honorable life.
Right.
Um, and so that's the best way to do it is to go from like the center of the stomach, um, or go through the center, like the center channel, and that will um separate essentially the aspect of the person that was living in that body into um God, this is fucking crazy. And those two aspects will essentially be new like rays. And so one person will be light and the other person will be dark. Um it's like just it's a belief that they have. And it actually does, like after, you die. I'm seeing this happen after this
Hmm.
separation of the two. Um, but those two parts are like the bad being like the shame, the guilt, the grief, um, the like darker aspects of the lifetime of the existence. I guess those two get separated out, and then um it seems like the half goes on, the light half goes on somewhere, and the dark half somehow gets reconfigured, um and almost goes through like a it's like a debriefing. I don't know how to explain it. It's not like super dark or scary, but it's just kind of something to like integrate the more difficult emotions. Like they're more dense, I think.
Mm.
So it feels like they go to a different place than like the light ones seem to go to a different place. And it's like, oh
Right.
yeah, it's fine. Like we have all these good memories, but the dark ones seem to I don't know if they stay. They might even stay on Earth. Um, oh, that's interesting. So it's like the light of the soul goes on,
Hmm.
and the pain and the suffering and the dense emotions, shame, guilt, grief, all those things,
Hmm.
they stay on the earth actually.
Oh,
Uh
wow.
yeah.
Would this be like a ghost type of a being now?
Um it doesn't have like full autonomy, so it's not like it can like speak to people, but it's more like an energy that
Hmm.
um can, yeah, latch on to another person, but you're not gonna, they won't, the person won't experience it like a, oh, here's the soul of this man or the ghost of this man. It's more like the shame of the experience latches on to somebody else and it kind of drags them down instead of like releasing it just like sticks to them like a burr or like a ball and chain that they just
Mm.
walk around with their whole life.
Oh,
Um, but it's just the nature of like Earth.
yeah.
It's just what it, it's just because of the density of matter and of um like gravity and the way that reality is materialized on Earth, these emotions are present, but they don't exist in some of the higher realms.
Gotcha.
So they serve a purpose for learning and to kind of bind to the positive feeling. So it's almost like the light aspects like, you know, love, joy, pleasure, creativity, those things come in and they're able to take form because they're connected to shame, guilt, grief, those things, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so that's how
Very.
you're able to have a 3D existence. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to experience joy, pleasure, and love.
Without
They're
the
still,
contrast.
yeah, yeah. They're still there as forces in the universe, but they're not something that you experience as like um a being and say like, "Oh, this is joy." Joy is just there, but you're not the witness of it, I guess. So that's what Earth is able to do.
To witness it and experience it.
Yeah, to bring people, souls, and consciousness into physical form with a brain, with eyes, with sensory organs that are able to perceive these emotions.
Very interesting. And I
It's
wonder what happens to the darker being next.
um it does again, it doesn't seem like it's like a being um like with autonomy.
Right,
It's
right.
it's like this energy that it's either it like will go to a person, okay, and then connecting it to its opposite, so grief and love, then the person is able to experience love because they're able to experience grief. It's almost like if
Okay.
you don't in a physical body, it's almost like the polarity is necessary. Um, so those energies that are floating around, the darker energies, they're more just kind of connection points to allow someone to experience the light ones of joy, creativity, and all those things.
Right. Oh,
Um,
neat. So do we need to absorb this dark energy again and like bring it to the light, or is it okay to do what it needs to do here on Earth?
um, it's gonna be really hard to remove the energy. Um, that would require material, like actual matter, losing density,
Mm,
which is possible. Um, but there has to be a, you could say, an acceptance of leaving those energies behind completely. Um, Humans have a tendency to pick them up because they like them. Um, they like the experience of being human.
right.
And so if they were to let that go, it could potentially lessen the density of their physical matter, of their bodies. Um, and you wouldn't experience so much of those shame and guilt and things like that. But again, as we move up the realms or up mm, layers of density,
Hmm.
the feelings of all of these love, joy, shame, guilt, pleasure, all of these things, they become less what I'm looking for is like perforating. Like they're not as like present in the experience of a person. They're not as like real. Like they become less dense, less materialized, less like vibrant or full or trying to think.
Like potency.
Potent, yeah. There's a potency with density. Yeah, thank you. That when you go up to the higher realms, you lose that. So it's not so much about leaving it behind, but it's about in this level of density, if you can have an understanding of it and know like that it's exists and that it's real, then you're able to have mastery over it. So the ultimate um mm, mastery would be to exist in density and to have a full understanding of it being density. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. So knowing that you need these experiences and feelings
Yes.
and being aware of it all and like kind of watching how it is playing out in your body and being there with it.
Yes.
Okay. So your darker energy that you've left behind on Earth,
Yeah.
does it get absorbed into the whole, like a collective grief and guilt and those feelings, or is it
Yeah.
okay?
Yes. So it can travel generationally,
Hmm.
um, if one has children. Um, because of course these feelings they travel through words, through affection, through um everything, every action that you take, these energies and emotions will illuminate or like color. Um, but if you don't have kids, then they just go to the other people just by the actions that you do
Like into the collective.
into the collective. Yeah. So if I'm meeting somebody at the fish market and I'm like talking to them and there's something that I feel a lot of grief because I've lost my wife
Hmm.
and I'm speaking to a woman and I'm kind of almost projecting the grief onto her in a way. Like you can actually like send that energy. And in the same way you can lighten. So if I meet another woman and she has grief and I'm feeling really like a lot of love, then I can send the love to her and
Right.
vice versa. So they can be transferred just in daily things, or they can also be sent back into the earth and the earth can hold it. It's like it's not a problem for the earth to hold these energies. And that's actually a really safe way to kind of discharge them if you're aware of an energy being pervasive in your field. You
Hmm.
can go to the earth and you can give the energy back, and it's just requires like the intent to do it. It's not anything
Now, does
special.
that carry on with this, like when the light leaves and goes on,
Yeah.
does it have any connection to that energy anymore?
To what energy?
To the darker energies you leave behind on the earth?
No. No, 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 no. No.
Okay.
It's only just the mixing for the sake of the human experience or for the sake of this dimensional experience.
Right. And I'm wondering if there is so much density needed on Earth right now, and do we need all of that?
There's a lot.
Yeah.
We know there's a lot.
There's too much,
But
I think,
I
maybe.
know. I know. I know. And the ones that are watching, that are up here and saying like we like our heart feels these people that are no, that know that it's too much, you know? Like there's so many people that actually are realizing that it's too much. And that's what's hardest for the people. I don't know how to describe them. Angels are people that kind of the caretakers or like the protectors, the guardians,
Mm-hmm.
um, is to see that happening in the sense of people witnessing it and becoming aware of it and knowing, because when if people aren't aware of it, then it's easier for for the guardians and kind of the higher order to say, okay, this is just something that's playing itself out. But what we have happening now is more of like an awareness of this is too much. And part of it is they're kind of coming in to say like, okay, we're telling people that it's too much. We're helping them to like awaken and realize that it's too much. And then the other half is like, or part of these guardians is saying like, we know it's too much and we're here for you. So there's an interesting shift that's happening now where people in the wake of recognizing that it's too much that's happening, they're getting another kind of understanding or awareness or insight of, oh, but there's this reassurance that things are going to be okay. Does that make sense? So it kind of strengthens the connection to the higher realms.
Right, because people are reaching for help
Yeah.
and and
And not
needing.
from anywhere in the collective because they can't get that kind of help from
Very
anywhere in
interesting.
the collective.
Is it appropriate to, what does the earth do? Okay, first, before I ask that question, what
Mhm.
does the earth do with the negative, darker energies? When you send it to the earth, like you're saying, what does it do with it?
It just absorbs it. There's a core at the center of the earth that's like, there's a lot of heat in the
Hmm.
center of the earth. So it can essentially just absorb all of that. It's almost kind of like a soot,
Okay.
but it will just take it into the center core of the earth and burn it.
Oh, so it's like feeding the earth, maybe even.
Yeah, you could say it's feeding it. Yeah. It's a very natural process and it's not um you can't give it too much because that fire in the center of the earth is so strong that
Won't even affect it.
it won't even affect it.
And then what does the earth give off? Like burning this core, what does the earth emit?
It seems like there are some gases that are like coming up from it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like me as Alexandra, I'm like almost like, fuck, this sucks. But it's like they're like it's like not a good gas that's coming up out of
Oh,
the air. It's not that it's a bad gas, it's just that it's like kind of too much for um the what is it called? The thing that protects
oh, the ozone
the
layer.
ozone layer. Yeah, yeah, thank you. The atmosphere. It's
Hmm.
like it's like almost too much like CO2, I think. I don't know if that's the
Okay.
thing, but that's what comes to mind. But it's like
Yeah.
it um yeah. I
Wow. And they go on and on about global warming, but maybe it's just the hate and the grief and all the darkness on the planet that's really the issue.
yeah. Yeah, it's probably more and it's all connected, right? So you have the hate and the grief and all those things, and it's kind of affecting the way that the environment is, and then you have the way that the environment is affecting the actions that people take.
Mm-hmm.
So then they're taking these shitty actions and it's making more shit and then it's making more grief and then it's sending that down into the earth and burning it up and it's not looking good.
No.
It's really not looking good. Um it doesn't mean that there's going to be a bad end result and that the people that are connecting to this sense or knowing of being protected, they won't feel the shift. You know, if something ends up happening to the earth on a larger scale, um, there are other planets in the universe, even in the galaxy,
Mm-hmm.
that can sustain life. And so the project with Earth has kind of almost been it's been really difficult, but we don't want to call it a test because it's not sometimes I think people can think that it's like, oh, it's a test, like, oh, well, fuck you guys, this is a test, you know, like you're just testing us. Um, but really there was an agreement that was made on behalf of each soul that wanted to come in and to kind of see what would be the case. And again, that only the light aspects of the soul leaves. Um, and so of course the guardians and the protectors of Earth don't want to see this place turn out to be a barren wasteland.
Yeah.
However, this is not the first time that this has happened.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a part of a larger expansion, you could say, of consciousness and of experience, um, that is informing it is informing that essentially this expansion that's happening. Um, there's not much more, it doesn't seem like that they are able to say on this. It
Okay.
feels.
So this process, we come down here as humans, this is going to elevate our souls, like we're climbing a little ladder or something.
Yeah, there is a sort of elevation that takes place because the experience, it almost kind of, you know, like little, like a crystalline, um like a rock or something, that it has all of these different reflection points
Mm-hmm.
whenever light passes through it. It's kind of the same thing. So the soul has like these emanation points, and of course they go back and reach into the one soul at some point. Um, but that process of kind of refining it, of um, reshaping it, of chiseling it away, of adding new material, which is experience, right? In Earth, or linear time. So you're kind of creating this like um it's hard to explain in words, but it's just like this beautiful object or essence of an individual ray, that kind of moves.
Mm.
And that itself is what's beautiful about it, is the expressions of the soul through time and how they change. And there's not really an endpoint to it because the only endpoint is dissolution or kind of union back into that single point.
Right. Hmm. Why I asked was I was wondering if it would be beneficial for us to take all of our our portions of these darker energies and give it to the earth. But
Mm,
I don't want to create more of this gas and whatnot. So what
right.
would be the best way to alleviate the earth of these darkness? I'm just going to use darkness as a general.
Yeah.
These darker, denser energies
Yeah.
without hurting the atmosphere and the environment.
Sure. So what is happening on Earth is um you can say there's already a ball that's been set in motion in a way. Um, that isn't to say that the earth can't heal and that there can be more time spent um, here.
Hmm.
Um, the best thing right now for you and Alexandra and anybody that really has this perception of um, a general awareness, like you could say that they're awake. I don't, that's the pretty common term, I guess, that people are using. So, um, it's it's to just help people, to help people really with their internal um these things like grief and shame and guilt and things like that.
Hmm.
Um, and that transmutation of like giving love where there's grief or like giving courage and freedom and expression where there's shame and giving security and reassurance and presence where there's um, insecurity and fear. Through humans, there's a unique thing about humans as a species and many other animals, but more so than the earth and the soil, humans and living beings are structurally more similar to one another. So human to human, obviously, because on a cognitive level, there's a great deal of it's like very fast moving transmission to where with animals, there's a very fast moving emotional transmission, and energetic. But because the mind is so primary in the experience and in the processing, it's like next to the soul, if that makes sense. The soul is like the witness, but then the mind is the kind of the filter through which these experiences happen. And so it kind of sends information up and brings it back down. And that's why it's at the top of the head because it's closest to the point furthest from the ground. Okay.
Hmm.
Closest to the soul, you could say. Um, yeah, we'll keep it like that. So this transmission from human to human is what actually heals the ultimately the earth because a lot of these gaseous rays that are emitted come from humans. I mean, the animals don't have shame and guilt and all these other things. Uh,
Right.
and again, as part of an experiment, it's been it's turned out as such. Um, and in the larger scheme of things, we don't see it as being such a catastrophe, but for humans, it's this is their home, and they've spent much time here and their bodies like generationally through time and the rearing of children and having birthing children, there's something that because they come from the material of the earth are a part of it.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
so that would help. That perspective could help to just give humans a different perspective on
Yeah.
our relation to the organism of Earth, and as a part of humans living organism. And there's many ways to look at that, and there's many different approaches that are being taken now with ecological, um, reformation or um, many different avenues and areas of environmental protection, ecology, um, earth magic. There's so many different ways, that people can connect with the earth, but um, ultimately, it is that transmission of, if you're getting in information, love, protection, reassurance, um, joy, inspiration, those feelings that come, essentially, you could say, from somewhere else, from the higher realms, because they do descend in a way into
Yeah.
um, those can be transmitted to other people through exchange. And so, in doing that, it will gradually, it's almost like there's like an inflammation on the Earth's surface.
Yes.
And so the light comes in, and it's like there's like a dissolving quality to it, where it will dissolve those gaseous things, uh,
Okay.
and kind of move them outside of the atmosphere, or almost just kind of absorb them and dissolve them. Um,
Right.
this is on the very, very subtle, fine level of matter.
Hmm.
Um, just as light is extremely subtle, so is this darkness and these emotions, these energies. That's why you can't see them. That's why
Right.
emotions are only really expressed through humans, because you can't sense them. But that is the kind of toxicity or the inflammation that is almost adding to the physical um toxicity that's kind of being experienced in the ozone.
Yeah. So, like, what if we took in our minds right now, what if we took all of the loving experiences that humans have ever had with each other
Mm.
and amplified it?
Each person can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, we can do that now with Alexandra and with you, but yeah, every person has the capacity to do that.
Mm. And like
It,
really absorb, and we don't even have to know these people all around the world.
no.
We can just take those moments and combine them and really amplify it out and have that be shared through our expressions with other people as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So
And that, yeah, yeah.
let's do that in our hearts. What were you going to say?
I was going to say that strengthening of that inner, um, it is kind of like an emanation that does begin to go further out and affect people in different ways. Um, Sometimes it just starts with the individual, and there's that kind of transformation that takes place, but then eventually the field almost can get stronger and stronger, to where you have a person like, um you can feel them if you see them out. Somebody has a really, really strong field, and it's very clear and pure. They are able to hold that much light and love and those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
So what if we did that now in our hearts?
Mm.
And what would happen if we put that into the earth?
So it looks like there's like a black layer over like we could say in grass. Okay, we're just picture just for the idea.
Yeah.
Or on the carpet. There's like this black soot or whatever. And if you take this white light and expand it out, and then like you can kind of like send it down, it
Hmm.
almost clears the circle of that whole area of that black soot.
Oh, great.
And it makes it like turns it green again. It removes all of the soot from like the carpet or the whole area that's around.
Well, you do that in your area, and I'm going to do that at my area
Yeah.
with all of the joy and the love that everyone has ever expressed on this planet to another human to human. And we're going to push it down into the earth through our bodies.
Wow.
Yeah, and maybe we can just keep pushing it right to the center. Oh, wait, let's ask what happens if we what happens if we push it to the center?
I don't think it really reaches the center.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're good. You're not gonna
I'm not going to mess up the mechanics of the
or
earth.
no, we're not gonna like blow a hole and have lava coming out of the thing. We're good.
Okay. Learning to be more responsible for my intentions. So I
Yeah.
need to ask things before I do
No,
them.
our digging is nothing compared to the oil digging that they're doing.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So let's just keep push it down as far as it will go
Mm,
and spread it as far as it will go, expanding the radius. And maybe our radiuses even touch each other.
mm,
So we have a link through the earth with this love.
mm,
And I'd like to ask that this be extended to anyone we interact with, anyone that watches this video, anyone that, um, even if it's just an email or a text, anyone we have encountered, this will be extended out to them, into their homes, into their land, and it will continue on as a ripple effect, as much as it's needed,
mm,
or as much as it is possible to hold and create a balance.
mm. Good job.
Beautiful. Is
Mm.
there anything you wanted to add to what we're doing?
Yeah, this area feels really clear that we're working on here. Um, I think going into some of the larger cities because I mean as we know, um, the the plants really help. Um, not only the ozone, like the atmosphere and that the transformation of CO2, but also going down deep into the earth, there's like a I don't know, I'm seeing like energetically there's like this connection point of like plants. And when there's no plants, um it's almost like a barren zone. I don't know how to explain it. So definitely going into some of those larger cities.
Mm,
And there are some like wherever there's, small plants because there are some in some cities, but there's some places that don't have any at all.
that's
Uh,
true.
yeah, and really going into those areas, the larger cities, and just supporting those people because the ground beneath their feet is not, it doesn't have that like, there's soot. It doesn't have that like absorbing quality. So there's really nowhere for them to um, send things down into the earth.
Mm. Ah,
So it's almost worse than
yeah.
it just going down into the earth. Obviously, there's the gases that are emitted, but like they can be transformed going down into the center of the earth. But if they just are sitting on top, it's almost like pushing up back into the
Mm.
environment. That's why those cities can be super, super chaotic. And even if people are more civilized energetically, they can still feel that disconnection from the larger organism. So,
Very interesting. Now, could you push through the concrete down with intention?
I mean, you can, but there's really no replacement to being on soil somewhere.
Yeah.
Just finding a spot with soil. Um, you can. They're saying that like it's good to be on the ground level at least if
Right. Be
you're gonna
down
do
out
that.
there.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and yeah, with your intention and with your like, you know, but it's good. It's good also for the sensory system for the human to be on like grass or on some sort of like soil or something that's not as dense, I guess. I don't, it's not that it's too dense, but it's just like not a such an organic, naturally occurring material, if that
Hmm.
makes sense. It doesn't have the same absorbency as leaves or grass or soil or sand or water even.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
This
even a
is
bath, like in a if you're in an apartment or something, you can take a bath in water and it um will absorb in a similar way.
oh great. That's good
Yeah.
to know.
Yeah.
Okay. Ah, well, that was a great little segment we just had. I appreciate all that information coming through.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, blinking, sneezing, I mean all of the whole system uses because it's like as an entire organism, there's constantly things that are being like shed and moved in and out of the body and like we can't humans can't see it, but at a molecular level it's insane what is occurring and transpiring throughout these organisms. Like they're so complex. Uh,
Yeah.
and there really is so much going on that the conscious mind can't keep up with it, which is why humans don't know consciously or perceive what's actually happening. But if they could, it would be overwhelming. Um,
Right.
but a good way to like a motto, to live by is like if it needs to come out and go, then let it go. Because holding on, um, gripping, um, kind of clawing, attaching, um, those those really cause a lot more disease than letting go. It's rare that people let go too early, but humans have a tendency to grip.
Yeah. Well, let's let go of everything we need to let go of now.
Yeah.
In the body and in my body, I'll do it with you.
Mm.
And even if we're not aware of it, we can just let it out as a breath or a noise or maybe a sneeze later. Who knows? But it will come out.
I just felt my ear pop.
Oh, good. Yeah, releasing anything that you've been hanging on to for way too long, anything that's dying to get out. Please leave now with much love and thanks and apologies for keeping you held in here for so long, and forgiveness for any harm done back and forth. And off to source you go, or to be a flower or a bird or whatever you want to be.
Mm. So beautiful. That intention of sending things away to be recreated into something, um, you could say of the light,
Yeah.
is such a beautiful way to help kind of transmute um, the energy on Earth.
Oh, good. So we don't have to put it in the earth per se to make that gas.
Correct.
We can
Yeah,
just send it where we want it to go.
absolutely.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's also a message, I mean, that you can share and send and give to others is to teach them how to do that. Um, People will listen to you.
Yeah, I have someone in mind for this already.
Mhm. Yeah, do it. Definitely. It's that can ripple into um a a new space energetically. So
Mhm.
it's
Do you have
yeah.
any advice for helping to get this message out or?
You can even make just like small notes, um, like on, social media. This is a good place for it because people are in a receptive state already.
Mhm.
Um, and then, of course, if you are in, I don't know, you're checking out somewhere at like a restaurant, right? You're paying the bill or something, and somebody says something, and you're like, oh yeah, well yeah, we'll just send that away to go be a bird, or what, you could get creative with it, and that will touch them in a way that opens their mind to a new kind of thinking. Um, and you can just do it naturally because that's you just are that way naturally, but it's a really good way to kind of turn on that switch of thinking um,
Yeah.
in an empowering way that's like, oh, I have the power to actually not hold on to that anymore. Because people don't know that they don't have to hold on to their stuff. So,
Oh, that's so great.
yeah,
Well, thanks. I'm glad they'll listen.
yeah, yeah. Yes, they will. Because the way that you bring it to them, and give it to them. It's a gift.
Mm, thanks.
Mm.